in the next session. Okay? So, if you remember in the beginning, once we started our measures of disease frequency, I told you that there are two major measures. One are measures of morbidity, and the others are measures of mortality. So, as far as morbidity was concerned, we said that morbidity is related to disease. Anything that is any deviation from the state of perfect well-being, we said it is morbidity. So, how to measure anything that is diseased, or how to measure the burden of the disease, or how to look into the phenomena of a disease pattern in the community, that how a disease is evolving, how many new cases are coming up in the community, and those new cases, how much burden they are posing on our healthcare system. Okay, so we discussed all that in our measures of mort. Now, in contrast to morbidity, now we are going to talk about mortality. Like now, the disease has ended up into some sort of death. No more diseases has been cured, and now people are dying. Now we need to look into all these different parameters or the measures that we have. That how can we measure death phenomena in the community? At which particular rate people are dying? How much deaths are attributed to any particular disease that is present in the community? Which chunk or the proportion of the disease is responsible for how much amount of the disease in the community, right? So all these measures we are going to discuss today. Now, before starting up, let me just share with you our my presentation with you. That is measures of disease frequency where we left last time. So then we will come. This is measures of, sorry, this is our second session. Let me just take up. Again, it is coming up. It's showing up as measure of disease frequency, but it is coming up as, I think, let me just see this. They both are the same. Let me just look into my. Can you see this? I can in front of you. Disease frequency. Can you see this? Measures of disease frequency.
Yes,
Measures
ma'am.
of. Okay, fine, good enough. Let me just take you to where we left last time so that we can take a start from there. Okay. So, in this particular case, I think we were here. Let me just adjust my. Okay. Is this font size okay?
Ma'am, we cannot see the slides.
We can see the folders only.
We can only see the folders.
Okay, fine. You can just see the folder. Let me just. Okay, let me just. Let's wait. Now, can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good enough. Now
Yes,
coming.
ma'am.
Okay, fine, good. Now coming to mortality rates. Okay. Now, do you remember in the beginning we said that there are crude rates, then we said that there are specific rates, and then the third one were standardized rates. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The crude rates, as the term says, that crude, raw rates. So whatever disease, whatever mortality we have observed, or any phenomena we have observed in the community, whether disease or death, so we are just measuring it, and we are taking that number in the numerator, and we are dividing it with the media population, and we are having a multiplier. So that is the crude rate, actual observed rate that we are observing in the community. Okay. Then we said that there are specific rates, and in specific rates, we said that there might be, what could be the specific rates are? Any one of you?
Ma'am, that's due to a particular disease.
Very good.
Ma'am,
So, what do we call that? Cause specific, right?
Cause specific.
Cause, very good. So that cause might be some cancer, that cause might be tuberculosis, that cause might be malaria, measles, any cause, right? So they are the specific rate. So specific cause specific, then what else could be the specific rates?
Ma'am, age specific rates as well.
Okay, they might be
Gender
might be
And specific.
okay, that might be gender specific, that might be age specific also, gender, age, and cause specific, right? So all can come in this category of specific rates. Okay, let me just and, okay, now anybody can join in at any time. So okay, fine. How are we going to remove this out? Can you all see this? Okay, okay, okay. So I have unchecked this. Okay, now coming back to our specific rate, let me just draw this for you also on my whiteboard so that we can understand this a little better. Okay. Now, the first thing we said that there are crude rates, and now we are talking about cause specific, right? And in cause specific, we said that we could be having we can have any cause, either if it is any of the disease, and then is the second number we said that this could be gender also, and then we said that this could be age also, right? This is what we have said.
Ma'am, can it be time as well, like some sort of epidemics or something like that?
Yeah, a time specification, it is a rate. Until unless time specification is not there, we don't really label it as a rate. Do you remember for any of the measure to be labeled as a rate, what were the measures? We said that there should be a numerator, there should be a denominator, there should be a time
A
specification.
multiplier in time. Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Time is definitely going to be there. Okay, so they are your specific. These are your specific rates. This now we can always combine them together like age and gender specific, or cause and gender specific, or cause and age. So they can be combined also, right? Now, if you remember, you must have heard as proportionate rates also. Proportion. How much, like proportionate mortality due to tuberculosis, or proportionate mortality due to cancers, that which particular proportion or chunk of the disease or the death is caused due to this particular cause, right? Which proportion or which chunk of the death is attributed to this particular cause. This could be anything that is under investigation. The gender. So we can always talk that um, uh, under 10 mortality rate among male children. So this means that we are combining gender and age together. So they can be combined also and they can be separate also. Okay. Now the third one, if you remember, I talked about which I talked about standardized.
Standardization.
Yes, standardized rates. Now today, inshallah, we'll talk about this. This is very, very important. We'll talk about our the specific rates also, and we'll talk about our standardized rates also. Okay. Now, if we just see that what are the crude rates? Say, for example, if I say that crude mortality rate, how do we write crude mortality rate, or what could have been written in the numerator, or what could have been written in the denominator? So, what we will say that this I am denoting to show the number. See, this could be number of total number of deaths, right? Total number of deaths and divided by what? In crude mortality rate. What I should have written over here?
Mid-year population.
Mid-year population.
Mid-year population.
Absolutely, we are going to write down mid-year population. Okay. So mid-year population is going to be written in the denominator, whatever mid-year population is there, and we are going to have a multiplier also. we say that per thousand population, this much number of individuals they die. So this is your crude mortality rate. And then if we talk about, say for example, cause mortality, so for example, number of deaths due to some sort of cancer, right? I'm writing a little short, so you can write down that due to mortality due to any particular cancers like CA breast, CA esophagus, CA lung. So what we will write down over here? What we will write down here? The cause is cancer. What we will write
number
down?
of deaths due to particular cancer, जो भी which is under study.
Yes, at any particular whatever time frame we have, the number of deaths due to that particular cancer. Very good. And in denominator, what are we going to write down?
Mid-year population.
Excellent. Who told this? This is yes. So we are doing number of deaths, and again we are going to write down mid-year population. Right? So that is your mid-year population. So I'm just writing short so that you can make out yourself. Now, what I'm going to emphasize over here, that remember there is one measure or there is one entity that creates the difference in different rates. That is your, what is that entity? That if it changes the whole measure.
Numerator.
Okay, so if it's not numerator, obviously it's going to be denominator. It is basically denominator. It is. Now, if I write down proportionate mortality, proportionate mortality due to tuberculosis or due to CA. We have taken that example of cancer. Say for example, we have taken as CA lung, right? So if I've taken CA lung, so what? Say for example, it's proportionate mortality due to CA lung. So how I'm going to write down, or what should have been written in your numerator and in your denominator? I'm putting a line here, okay? So what should
number
have
of
been
deaths in the numerator and a total number of cases in the denominator.
Cases, okay. So numerator, in the numerator, what are, first tell me what we are going to run. I would encourage all of you to turn on your videos and deliberately, because I always love interaction, having face-to-face or eye-to-eye contact, but unfortunately because of this scenario, we couldn't just have that classroom interaction. So what maximum, so that's why I've turned on my video also, and I'm on recording. So whenever you, and I'll be sharing all these recorded sessions, inshallah. So I would urge all of you, those who can turn on their videos, to please turn on so that I can see how you're working on, and because that always gives a better interaction. Okay, so it's just wonderful to see you people also, although it's nice to hear you also, but I would appreciate. Thank you so much for turning on, and so we can better interact. Okay, if we look, if we see each other. Okay, fine. Now we can. What now? Tell me that what are we going to write down in the numerator?
Ma'am, इसमें total number of deaths due to CA lungs.
Excellent. Number of deaths. Very good.
और मैंने denominator में total number of deaths
total number of deaths
due to any cause.
Yes. The cause is number of deaths. So, for example, if you've taken number of deaths due to, say, for example, whatever CA lung we have taken here. And in the denominator, now all those who were saying that in the denominator we should have written the cases, or we should have written mid-year population or whatever.
And in the total deaths?
The total number of deaths from all causes. Absolutely. So in the denominator, we are going to write down total deaths. Total deaths from all causes, okay? From all causes. Now, whatever occurred due to any of the disease, those total number of deaths we are going to write down in the denominator, and in the numerator we are categorically going to write down those number of deaths which are particularly due to CA lung. Now, did you get that? Any one of you? Any issue in this?
Ma'am, it
Ma'am,
means
can
that
you
there will
please
be no
repeat?
time specification in proportional mortality.
Sorry, who is this?
And there would be no time specification in proportional mortality, right?
This is just for your, this is just for the convenience sake. I'm saying that the number of deaths occurring in year. So this is how total. Whenever we'll be practicing all these measures, I'll be telling you all that, okay? At which particular, this is the prerequisite. Without that, we can't really label any weight as a rate. So if you ever see these small statements written, that is just for the sake of understanding our practices purposes. Otherwise, a rate needs to have that time specification, or that the time, or that particular point in time when that particular measure is measured, okay, or calculated for the population of interest, and a multiplier of course. Now see, we talked about crude mortality rate, or then we talked about mortality, cause-specific mortality rate, and then we talked about proportionate mortality rate. Now, I don't have space, so that's why I'm going to clear these writings that I've made. So you are going to write down in continuity the fourth one also that I'm going to write down, okay? I hope you all can make out. It seems a little messy, but if you follow my pace, you can always write down whatever I'm telling us. Okay. So I'm going to clear up this, and the fourth measure that I'm going to write down here is case. This is going to be case fatality rate. Case fatality. Case fatality rate, right? So what do we call this? It is also known as the killing power of the disease, or the severity of the disease, or the vulnerability of the disease we measured by looking at the case fatality rate. Now, as somebody was telling me initially, that we have, what are we going to write down here? Now, this is case fatality rate due to, of case fatality rate of, say for example, if I'm writing case fatality rate of, since we are covering CA lung, so how I'm going to, or what I'm going to write down in my numerator and denominator, any idea?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes.
Total number of death due to CL lung numerator में लिखेंगे. And miss denominator में total number of cases.
Excellent, excellent. In the numerator, what we are going to write down, we had a little discussion about this once we were talking about incidence and prevalence calculation. What are we going to write down? Case fatality. This means total number of fatalities or deaths which are occurring due to CA lung. Total number of deaths. Please do all of you write it complete. Total number of deaths due to CA lung is the numerator. Okay, so since I'm running short of space, so I've just written number of deaths. Write down complete number of deaths due to CA lung, and in the denominator, what are we going to write down? In the denominator,
number of cases diagnosed with cancer lung.
Cases of CA lung, absolutely. Total number of cases, total number of CA lung cases, right? That is your case fatality rate of CA lung, right? So any doubt in this?
No.
Any
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
just to wrap up,
No,
we talked
ma'am.
about fatality, then we talked about we took one example, and the emphasis, the point behind all this discussion is just to make you understand that there is one entity that is most important while the calculation of these rates or the frequency measures or whatever measure we are calculating, that is denominator. It holds a very important position. Now, the moment we started up with cause-specific mortality due to CA lung, we saw that in the numerator we wrote total number of deaths due to CA lung, and in the denominator we wrote right? We did. And then we said that in mortality,
इंग्लिश में बताइए
किसी हाँ GHS
kindly
CDC अपना तो लॉन्च है ना जिसमें हम सब हैं वो है ही GHS से ग्लोबल हेल्थ सिक्योरिटी तो मेरा ख्याल है वो खट्टे उसी हेडिंग में ही
finished. Can you please return to your mic? Okay, fine. Now see, in then we talked about mortality. Can we again numerator we wrote again the same total number of deaths due to CA lung, and in the denominator what we wrote total number of deaths from all causes at that particular moment in that place in country, and then we talked about case fatality rate, right? Now in case fatality rate we said the total number of deaths due to CA lung, and in the denominator we wrote total number of cases of CA lung at that particular point at that particular place. And obviously we have multipliers also. So that was there, and I'll be showing you up an example also, and for which you have to give me calculation also, right? So I'm going to clear my drawings, and I'm going to take you back to